Look, health insurance is expensive. We have premiums at all-time highs right now, and we're staring down the barrel of yet another year of premium rate increases and potentially the loss of enhanced premium tax credits, further driving up the cost. The Affordable Care Act is a legislative nightmare. You can point fingers at the Republicans, you can point fingers at the Democrats, you can point fingers at the unhealthy state of America. There's plenty of reasons health insurance has gotten expensive, but there's one enormous overlooked reason. And it's the fundamental principle underlying the ACA. No one is talking about the risk. You see, when you zoom out and you think about insurance in general, not just health insurance, but all types of insurance, it's a transfer of risk. That's all the product was ever intended to be. You pay an insurance company a set amount of dollars, and it will protect you or your things against a loss. You are transferring the risk of that thing to an insurance company. That's all it was. So how does the insurance company determine how much money you're supposed to pay each month? Well, they calculate the risk. And they do it in three ways. They look at the likelihood of a claim, they look at what you want to have covered, and they look for how much money do you want to have it covered for. Think about car insurance. They're going to look at your driving record. They're going to see where you park your car at night. They're going to see the value of your car. How many miles do you drive? Got any DUIs? This will help them assess the likelihood of you filing a claim. But then they also want to know, what do you want to be covered for? You want uninsured motorist? You want comprehensive? You want collision? What kind of things do you want the car covered for? And then they also want to know, how much money do you want to have it covered for? Do you want the state minimum threshold, or do you want the maximum? Do you want 100,000, 300,000? What do you want? After they have all those variables, the nerds with the calculators do their thing and they say, hey, here's your monthly premium. And you say, okay, and you pay it. But that's not what happens with the Affordable Care Act. That's not what happens with marketplace health insurance. They've completely changed the game. They've eliminated these health insurance companies' ability to assess the risk. So now premiums are out of control. Plans are worse than ever, more expensive than ever, cover fewer things. These health insurance companies on the ACA cannot calculate the likelihood of a claim. They don't ask you any health questions when giving you health insurance. They also do not ask you what you want to be covered for. Everything is already pre-packaged in this pretty little thing called the 10 Essential Benefits. Even if you don't want maternity coverage, guess what? It's thrown in there. You don't want drug and alcohol abuse and rehab? Too bad, it's in there. You don't need expensive prescriptions? Well, you're covered for them. And those things are really expensive to get coverage for. The ACA also has no annual limits on what the health insurance company will pay out for your claims. I'm not necessarily saying this is a bad thing, but if they can't assess the likelihood that you'll file a claim and they have to cover you for everything for an unlimited amount of money, guess what? That's a maximum risk rating to give you that health insurance. So now your premiums are going to go up artificially. Your deductibles are going to go up artificially. Your copays will go up, and the amount of providers who you can see and you can utilize healthcare from shrinks. Because this health insurance company is in it for the profit, whether you like it or not, and they have to control their costs. And if you're not going to let them calculate the risk, guess what? They're going to start shorting you on benefits. So yeah, we have a health insurance crisis in this country, no doubt about it. Things are getting out of control. But I think what you need to know is there are still health insurance products out there that do assess the risk. They do look at the likelihood of a claim. They do ask you what you want to be covered for. They do have limits on what they're going to pay out. And you know what this ends up doing? It ends up lowering premiums, ends up lowering deductibles. It ends up opening a wide open network where you can go receive healthcare wherever you want. But you're not going to find these plans on the ACA marketplace because none of those plans can calculate the risk. They're not allowed to legally. If you're interested in plans that do assess the risk, if you want to have insurance the way it was designed and originally intended to operate, just let me know. I've helped thousands of people over the last 10 years. There's a better way than the ACA.